Welcome to Recently Logged, where all of our facts are rock facts.
So Micah,
So, Robbie.
have you noticed the air getting colder?
I have.
Have you noticed the leaves falling?
I have, and I've noticed my allergies getting worse.
Yeah, mine too. Well, hello there, guys. I'm Robbie,
And I'm Micah.
and together we form the duo that reviews movies called Recently Logged.
Do we really review movies?
Yeah, we do.
Do we more discuss?
Well, yeah, it's really more of a discussion, but whatever. There's this one podcast that I listen to where they literally like just say a review, like a full-on review for the movie. It's two guys and they both say like this half-hour long review for the movie they're talking about. I'm like, this is weird, right?
This is really weird.
And then they like share feedback on what the other one thought. I'm like, this is weird.
Do they
right?
type out like just really long reviews?
They have
and
like
then
a
just
full,
read it.
Yeah, they have like an essay long review of the movie they're talking about. And that's it.
Weird.
I'm like,
that's what I do with video essays.
But yeah, we're talking about fall this time.
We're talking about Over the Garden Fall.
Yes. I feel like Over the Garden Wall is the perfect piece of media for fall.
It is the fall thing. If you've watched my video, Robbie, you would know that it is the fall piece of media.
Well, I mean, I did watch your video.
Well, then you know.
I guess so.
So yeah, before we did this, actually, like, I guess it was last year.
Was that last year?
I guess it was last year. I put out an Over the Garden Wall video on my channel. It actually is now my most popular video for some reason. It's not anywhere near my best video.
No, it's very scattered.
But it's up to like 35,000 views, and like my next highest viewed video is like 800. So
well, it's just the way it is, I guess.
Yeah, and it made my demographic literally be like 15 to 18-year-old females. So.
Nice. It is my belief that all ages and genders can enjoy Over the Garden Wall.
Yes, but why are my YouTube analytics this now?
I don't know. No one knows the answer to that, Micah.
But yeah, so I have some experience. I did quite a bit of research for that video. It was just long enough ago that I haven't really thought of it, but I still have that knowledge locked somewhere in my brain.
Ooh.
So I have some stuff.
Who knows? We might see the live unlocking of knowledge in Micah's brain on the podcast.
So do we want to get into the basic facts of
the
Over
basic
the Garden
rock
Wall?
facts, Micah?
It's a rock fact.
Indeed, we do.
So the rock facts of Over the Garden Wall. So we're talking about Over the Garden Wall. It is a mini-series that came out in 2014. It's rated TV PG.
It aired in 2014, Micah.
109 minutes in total.
Ooh.
Its little IMDb description is: two brothers find themselves lost in a mysterious land and try to find their way home. Which yes, that is the plot.
Yes.
It won 2 Primetime Emmys, one for Outstanding Animated Program and one for Outstanding Individual Achievement in Animation.
Yes.
It's cast. We got Elijah Wood, Colin Dean.
Yes.
How do we say her name, I wonder?
Melanie Linsky,
Christopher Lloyd, John Cleese, Mr. Cheese himself,
Mr. John Cheese.
Tim Curry makes an appearance. There's a lot of like big actors.
Yeah, I was about to say this is pretty well-known actors on the whole.
Created by Patrick McHale, and the development through Cartoon Network done by Katie Krentz. Yeah.
Mike, you just gotta dive into a last name.
Dive into the last name.
You can't hesitate.
I keep hesitating. And technically, it was partially directed by Nate Cash. The direction itself was kind of like, because each episode.
Well, yeah, he directed every episode of it. He was the director.
Yeah, he was.
But yeah,
he was the director, but like, he was not the main creative force behind it all.
Well, I mean, it has that weird thing that TV shows always have where, like, you have to have someone actually directing it, but like the show creator is usually responsible for a lot of the creative decisions.
Right. It's kind of weird.
It's weird.
But yeah, Nate Cash directed.
Yes, Over the Garden Wall, TV miniseries. You guys all know what it is.
Essentially, the show itself was created by Patrick McHale and a bunch of his college buddies.
Yeah, I was about to say. No, you can watch Micah's videos.
Yeah.
And learn all about it.
They literally just like all went to college. Cartoon Network was like, oh, we have no shows. We need a show.
Oh, we have no show. So is that what they sound like?
That's how Adventure Time was made.
Exactly. Very good show. Who'd have thought? Apparently 2014 was the peak of Cartoon Network.
It was.
But anyway, let's move on to our opening thoughts for Over the Garden Wall.
To the rock thoughts.
The rock thoughts. I don't think rocks can think, Micah.
Wow.
And that's a rock fact.
I took a shower last night and now my hair is really annoying me.
Why?
Well, like when you take a shower and your hair is all poofy, then it gets all poofy. Like I need a hat.
Then go get a hat. No one's keeping you here.
The people are keeping me.
Wow. That 28-cent paycheck is keeping you here.
Exactly.
Bro, I could have all the money to myself if I just kick Micah off as a host.
It's true. You could have the whole 52 cents or something.
Whoa.
It's not 52, it's like 56 or something.
I think we're up to like $8 right now.
Whoa.
That's right, guys. Your support has gotten us $8.
Robbie's Tea is brought to you by listeners like you.
And we spent it on movie rentals a long time ago before we got $8.
It's true.
So it really just kind of, we've lost money.
Okay. But anyway, let's get into the opening thoughts.
The opening thoughts. Yes.
What are your opening thoughts on the miniseries known as Over the Garden Wall?
Well, is it known as anything else?
Well, it was
Tome of the Unknown 2 or something?
It was going to be known as Tome of the Unknown. But that's another story.
Well, there you go. Well, hey, we can include Tome of the Unknown in our episode rankings at the end.
But I didn't
if you want
do that.
If you want to.
It's not the same.
Okay. Okay. What was I going to say? Yes. Over the Garden Wall is I think probably one of the best TV miniseries I've ever watched, if not the best, probably the best. But then again, I haven't seen very many TV miniseries, but you know, they're essentially just long movies. And this isn't even that long because it was a Cartoon Network TV.
No, this is very much just movie length.
Yeah, it's just
109 minutes.
It's just a movie with episodic structure is really all it is. I really love the general like animation style and score and everything. It curates a very nice, pleasant vibe that also can turn like spooky within like 5 seconds, which I very much appreciate. Because like it's kind of cozy, but then when it wants to be scary, it's scary, and it does a really good job at being able to shift between those very easily.
It's almost like I talked about that on my video.
Yeah, the score is phenomenal. It's one of my like all-time favorite scores, movie or TV show.
Very good.
Yeah, just it's sensational. I literally get goosebumps, I think, every time I listen to the little intro. The little strings. It's nice. What else to talk
prelude.
About? Its quote high concept like idea behind it is really, really dope. Just like if you watch it the first time, you can enjoy it even if you don't like necessarily put 2 and 2 together and realize what it's going for.
Which by the way, we watched it with my girlfriend last night for this episode.
Yeah.
And we told her the whole like most popular that's not even like the deepest theory out there.
That's like surface level like that makes sense theory.
But the theory that like because of the grave with Quincy Endicott and like everybody like the fact that they're drowning, that everybody that they run into in the show is dead, and it's like purgatory kind of thing waiting.
I mean, I feel like that's a pretty safe interpretation of the show.
But she didn't realize this, and she was like, "What?" Because and that's not a criticism of her, because you literally can just enjoy the show. Yeah, exactly.
No, that's what I was saying. Show. Like, you can literally just enjoy it, whether or not you're like, "Oh, I enjoy this because it's a high concept thing." Like, I don't think that necessarily. Like, I think it elevates it a little bit, makes it more enjoyable. It engages you more as a viewer. But yeah, no, it works really well from that perspective too. I don't know what else to talk about. The animation is great. It does a really good job of combining a lot of what made like 40s animation good and like modern Cartoon Network good, if that makes any sense.
Well, crap, what is that show called?
Which one?
Something Flapjack.
Oh, The Adventures of Flapjack.
Which is very much based around old animation styles, and that's what Patrick McHale started working on at Cartoon Network before he ever touched this.
I was about to say, you can definitely see like 40s like inspiration for all of the character designs and everything, and it just works really well with the tone of the show again, because like 40s cartoons can be very unsettling at times.
Very.
But they're also kind of like cute, you know.
That's why Bendy and the Ink Machine is a masterpiece.
Exactly. Yeah. What else to mention? I don't know. Like, the animation's great, the music's great. From a story perspective, all of the characters are really fun and good, and I still get emotional at the end of it. Surprisingly, you wouldn't think like Cartoon Network miniseries is gonna have me crying in the club, but
no, that was the craziest thing before I knew what this was.
Yeah,
that like when I heard about it, I heard how highly rated it was. I was like, what?
But it's a Cartoon Network miniseries.
Weird. It's Cartoon Network, right? That sounds weird. And then I watched it and I was like, this is nothing like anything Cartoon Network I've seen.
My goodness. I already have a favorite scene from the series, but we'll discuss that later.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're very much discussing stuff here.
Okay.
It's supposed to be opening thoughts, Robbie.
Those are my opening thoughts. I love it. It's great.
Okay.
What do you think of Over the Garden Wall?
What do I think of Over the Garden Wall? I genuinely do think it's probably the most perfect piece of fall media ever created. Specifically fall.
Not Knives Out, Micah?
No. I love Knives Out. Love it to death. But I think this is far more fall than Knives Out.
That's fair.
I think literally, like he said, like every element of the animation and the music and just the very base ideas and all of the inspiration that was taken to draw you into this creates something that's so, like he said, simultaneously really comforting to watch. There's something so... Like,
it's cozy.
You watch Over the Garden Wall and you're like, fall. But yet, because fall is the way that it is, they use that aesthetic to perfectly blend it into the creepier stuff. And the show was actually originally made to be even creepier, and I'm kind of sad we didn't get that, because I just am a really big fan of like when cartoons go really creepy.
I was about to say, the creepy stuff in this, like when it does get scary, is so good.
But Cartoon Network thought it would be too creepy.
Well, it is for children, Micah. So that would have scared the like ending episode of this would have scared me to death as a child.
I think its structure is brilliant, how they came up with the episodic structure of everything, leaving everything to flow very nice episode to episode.
Very definitely.
The music is outstanding, genuinely, like he said, one of my favorite like just soundtracks and scores for anything ever. The animation is beautiful. The voice cast is outstanding. Like, the voice cast, I wouldn't even have thought, like, if you would have told me, like, John Cleese was in this, and Christopher Lloyd and Elijah Wood, I would be like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
But, like, the voice cast of this show is literal perfection. Especially the Beast voice. I don't think I know who voices the Beast.
The guy who voices the Beast was knocking it out of the park.
I said it with both the Beast and Enoch. Like, they have, like, Kratos levels of just outstanding voices.
People.
But yeah, I don't know, without getting too much into discussion, like, it's just, like, an insanely well-crafted series, even with everything that went into it, which you can very much tell that stuff was cut from it.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Because due to budget and time and everything, they ended up cutting 3 episodes. And you can tell by the end. But, like, it doesn't even, like, matter overall for the show.
Yeah, I think that's honestly one of its biggest problems. I forgot to mention that. Its ending is a little sudden.
Yeah, its ending is sudden.
That's, I think, its only problem, really. Like, its biggest problem.
Yeah. But, like, again, it was due to episodes being cut.
Yeah.
But no, I love this series. I really, really do. I gave it a 5 out of 5.
I also gave it a 5 out of 5, Micah.
So now, let's get into the meat.
The main discussion, Micah.
The Jason Funderburker.
The Jason Funderburker.
So I have a little fun fact for viewers at
Came in
at
so
home.
quick.
A little fun fact for viewers at home. We ended up watching this completely.
We ended up watching this
completely coincidentally at the exact same time as Karsten Rundquist.
My hero, my personal hero.
Like, we logged it almost at the exact same time it popped up that he logged it.
Creepy, Micah.
It was pretty wild. We didn't watch it with.
Wait,
him.
that was it. that
was just the fun fact.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, discussion time, Micah.
Discussion.
It's time to discuss. What'd you think of? We already mentioned the voice cast in part, but I feel like with any animated like program or movie or anything, the voice cast getting a sound for it is essential, and this definitely has a sound.
Yeah, this is like the only time. I mean, not the only time, obviously, but like one of the only times where you could grab what I would call a, quote, celebrity cast and it actually all be outstanding choices. Because, I mean, all of the, quote, celebrities in this are just good voice actors.
Yeah, I was about to say. The only person in this voice cast that I'm not usually fond of from like a performance standpoint is Christopher Lloyd. And he's pretty good in this.
Yeah,
I like him.
I like his performance. The Woodsman is a weird character in general.
Yeah.
I've always felt kind of weird about it, and I feel like, I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like some of his stuff had to have been cut in those 3 episodes, like some of his main stuff.
Oh, I guarantee.
Because, like, he feels like a very weird background character that's building to something, but never really gets a chance to. And, like, I think the vocal performance itself is fine.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, the only one I'm kind of indifferent to is Christopher Lloyd.
Oh wait, I have a voice cast that I do not like, straight up. It's actually one of the only characters in the whole show I do not like. Fred the horse.
Oh yeah.
I really don't like, and I don't think his vocal performance meshes at all with
No,
the
it
rest of the
doesn't.
show.
That's a good spot, Micah, because he does not really mesh with the rest of the show very well.
And it's crazy because they out of everything they could have made a spinoff for, they were originally trying to get a spinoff about Fred the horse and
Big L.
Like, what? Fred the horse sucks.
What are you even gonna do?
All my homies hate Fred the horse.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I don't know. He's just like, he sounds like a character. What am I thinking?
I was gonna say he sounds like a character from Penguins of Madagascar, but he is a character in Penguins of Madagascar.
Yeah, he is. Like, but that's the kind of vibe character that I expect. Like, honestly, like Madagascar style quality.
Yeah.
Which I like Madagascar, but the style just doesn't really mesh. And you have just this vocal performance in this entire horse character that just feels very out of place in the whole episode that he's in.
Yeah.
To me, anyway.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Definitely. But I just think it's interesting that they were able to cast, like, the ensemble cast is very, very good.
Yeah, like, I'm surprised in general that they got the people that they got to, like, sign up for their tiny Cartoon Network miniseries.
Bro, the like main trio is gold.
I have the creaky chair this episode.
The creaky chair.
But yeah, no, like, Elijah Wood gives a great performance. Why did I just lose his name?
With the kid?
Yeah.
Gregory?
Yeah, Gregory.
I don't know.
It's like, Colin Dean.
Colin Dean
is an amazing voice actor.
He really is.
He is outstanding in this.
It's kind of crazy. Like you wouldn't think, but then like he is the.
But yeah, I think my favorite vocal performances, just in terms of vocal performances, come from John Cleese, because John Cleese is a master.
John Cleese is one of my favorite just actors in general. So
right,
it makes sense.
Like, Quincy Endicott is by far one of the funniest characters in this whole show.
Mr. T-Man with his peacocks, Micah. Madness.
But yeah, I'm a very much fan of the vocal performances in this.
Nice.
Wow.
Me too.
So what is your favorite scene or sequence? Which is an interesting question coming from something with episodes.
Yeah, I was about to say, I already mentioned earlier that I did have a favorite scene.
Yeah.
And it's the scene where Greg is getting turned into an Edelwood tree near the very end of the show. I love that scene.
Very good scene.
Very spooky, but also very emotional.
Very emotional.
It's everything that I love about Over the Garden Wall, Micah. The score there is great too.
Yeah, I think I would say kind of that a little bit as one of the best in the show for sure. Like, because one of my favorite standout scenes is like just for the whole show is definitely the confrontation between Wirt and the Beast at the end.
Yeah,
I think that's like
outstanding. That's what I'm talking about. That scene.
Well, yeah, but like that's not when he's getting turned.
Well, yeah, but like that's the start of the scene.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that's why I said that like section.
Yeah,
is just like overall outstanding, and I would say it is some of the creepiest of like the whole show, and like the whole "Are you ready to face true darkness?" and are you is both awesome and funny at the same time. So
no, Micah, not humor in my show, Micah.
Not humor.
The MCU.
But a close comparison for favorite scene is the Over the Garden Wall, like the song Over the Garden Wall thing from the Frog episode.
Lullaby and Frogland.
Lullaby and Frogland.
Good stuff.
the animation, the colors in that scene are beautiful. The frogs are outstanding, and that's my favorite. That's my favorite song off of the soundtrack.
Mike is like the frogs. They're frogs.
But yeah, that's probably my favorite scene overall.
All right, pretty good choice, Micah. What's your favorite episode?
Favorite episode.
We're gonna rank all of them later, but I figured we did favorite scene,
I figured we could just go into our ranking from that. But
sure, if you want to. I figured we'd stick it at the end, but like, sure, let's do it.
I don't see why not.
Let's do it.
But my favorite episode is in fact a Lullaby in Frogland.
Wow.
The one I grabbed my favorite scene from.
Wow.
What's your favorite episode?
Gosh, you sent me your ranking.
I did.
And I've been trying to figure out how I would rank this. They're all like there's like, in my mind, there's like A tier and B tier like episodes of this show.
I would agree.
And like I don't think that like the A tier ones have like an outstanding one of them, and the B tier ones have an outstanding one of them. I just think there's like that's one of the better episodes, or that's one of like the not as good episodes.
I would only put like 3 episodes in B tier though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I like all of them. Gosh, if I had to pick what I would like the best one, my favorite one.
If you could just sit down and watch one.
If I could pluck one out.
Just if you went upstairs right now to watch an episode, what episode would it be?
That's so tough. It would be between, I think, Songs of the Dark Lantern and School Time Follies. Those are 2 of my favorites for sure. But probably School Time Follies.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, School Time Follies is a really fun episode.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's upbeat. It's got like some really good music in it.
And it's right there because it's episode 3.
Yeah,
and it's right there, right as you're getting into when the show can just do stuff like, you know, like actually do the little kind of one-off plot episode things.
I was about to say that if you've ever written or read a screenplay book, like how to structure a screenplay, this is the fun and games section before Act 2 really gets going.
Yeah, so we had like the Old Grist Mill and Hard Times at the Husk and Bee that really are very much just like set up as much as they're fun still.
Yeah.
And then this is the first one where the show gets to have fun, but it's also not far enough that like there's a lot of plot going on either. Because, like, towards the end, as you get towards, like, even the later episodes, even Lullaby and Frogland, my favorite, like, you're starting to get very much into, like, the overarching, looming plot.
Yeah, I was about to say, once they get to Adelaide's, it really is all just plot from there, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And you just like Miss Langtry.
It's true. So, but still, it doesn't change the fact that it's a good episode.
My total ranking of the episodes.
Okay.
I have number 1, Lullaby and Frogland, episode 6. Number 2, Schooltime Follies, episode 3.
Yes.
Number 3, Songs of the Dark Lantern, episode 4.
We seem to agree on the like top 3, but
4, Mad Love, episode 5.
Yes, that's confusing.
5, Hard Times at the Husk and Bee, episode 2.
Yes.
6, The Ringing of the Bell, episode 7. 7, The Unknown, episode 10.
Oh my god.
This really is confusing. 8, The Old Grist Mill, episode 1. 9, Into the Unknown, episode 9. And 10, Babes in the Woods, episode 8, the only episode that I kind of am actively just towards.
I can't believe you don't like Babes in the Woods, Micah.
It's not fun for me. I'm bored the whole episode. It's the only episode I'm bored during.
I love that episode. I don't know. I'm just here for more Greg content, honestly.
Yeah, but it's not Greg content like I would prefer. It's not Greg being Greg because it's mostly silent the whole time.
It's still good though, Micah.
It's still a fine episode. It's just it definitely is my least favorite, and it is the only episode that I get bored during.
Okay. Man, how would I rank this? I'd probably have the same top 3. Like, I think I would go Schooltime Follies, Lullaby and Frogland, and Songs of the Dark Lantern. So just swap Micah's top 2. After that, I'd probably go with probably Mad Love, and then The Unknown, Hard Times at the Husk and Bee. After Hard Times in the Husk and Bee, what would I go with?
Do you not like The Ringing of the Bell, Robert?
I mean, The Ringing of the Bell is a fun episode. I'm just not crazy about it.
Maybe they're here to burgle your turn.
That's true. That is true. Hold on. Gosh. What do I have left? I have The Unknown, Into the Unknown.
No, you said The Unknown.
Oh, did I?
You said Mad Love, The Unknown.
Oh, yeah, that's the last episode. I'd probably go Old Grist Mill, and then Ringing of the Bell, and then Babes in the Woods.
Yeah, I'm not that big of a fan of Old Grist Mill either.
Really?
Yeah, so I put Old Grist Mill down there, and I actually talk about the episode in my video. Like, I use it as my first example of kind of the breakdown of the show, because I do think it's a really great way to set up the structure, the tone, the character. Like, it's
That's
a great
what I admire about it,
episode. Yeah. But again, I'm just kind of like, would I watch that again? No. Like,
would I watch that again? No.
It's some of my least favorite Woodsman content, essentially.
Okay. That makes sense. I just like the dog.
The dog is a plus. Like I have no other problems, like, with it. Like, Greg is an icon in it. Wirt is great. You get some great quotes, but, like, I just don't like the Woodsman.
Yeah, I like I said, I have such a hard time ranking this show because, like I said, I feel like there's, like, the great episodes and then the pretty great episodes, you know? Like, even episodes that I find to be a little more, like, dull than some of the other ones, like The Ringing of the Bell, have, like, just, like, great moments in them and great characters that they're always introducing in them. It's never boring.
What do you think of Into the Unknown?
Into the Unknown? That's Into the Unknown. It's an yeah, no, I know what it is. It's an interesting episode because, like, I know there's some backlash to putting it in at all and not leaving it a little more ambiguous. But like at the same time, I don't know.
It works to the ending.
It's
really
weird.
Well. Like,
yeah,
I like the way the show ends with them all being there, and without this episode, you couldn't do that.
It makes the ending a little more cathartic than it would be otherwise.
Yeah, but at the same time, I put it as low as I did because it is just a very odd episode.
It feels kind of disconnected from the rest of the show, but it's because it's not in purgatory.
Yeah, I don't know, but like overall, like even beyond just like, it's not in the same location.
It's not set there.
It does feel rather disconnected, and when you're watching it through all the way, it can kind of feel a little jarring going to this episode.
Definitely.
Which I think is partially its purpose.
Because you go from Babes in the Woods to this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Babes in the Woods is one of the weirdest, most over the garden.
Yeah, I was about to say that's one of the weirdest episodes you can get. Like this would never happen in reality, kind of episode.
To this,
and then you go hard cut to Wirt throwing a cassette at the wall.
Right, like, and it's a little weird.
Yeah,
I still think it's a good episode. Obviously, I actually there's a lot of moments in it that I find hilarious.
I love the Jason Funderburger.
Jason Funderburger stuff is amazing. Sarah's a really fun character.
Oh my gosh,
the police officer is outstanding. Yes. The greatest police officer of all time. I do not care.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it's a good episode still. Like I said, they range from great to pretty great.
But yeah, just in terms of the overall show, it is a very odd entity, like Babes in the Woods.
Yeah, I was about to say, because it acts as a flashback for the whole show, and you've gotten so used to just over the garden wall at this point. Like, you're almost at the end of the show now. So it just seems kind of like jarring.
It genuinely makes me wonder how they would have structured this show, because originally when Patrick McHale pitched this to Cartoon Network, they were like, that's a cool idea, but we're gonna make it into a movie.
A movie.
And I was like, okay. He didn't want it to be a movie, but he was like, well, if that's what I gotta do to get it made. And they started working on production with a movie, and then he finally convinced them to make it into a show.
I was about to say, I have a feeling a lot of the problems that I have with this, like in its story pacing and stuff, like we mentioned with the episode we were just discussing, would be made a lot worse by a movie structure.
Yeah. And I think, like, the more it leans towards that, the more episodes that got cut, the more it kind of leans towards that kind of... It's not bad pacing. It's still really good.
No, yeah, I was about to say, like I said, you're never bored with the show.
But it is a little awkward pacing.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, there's a very clear purpose to that. They literally... one of their animation studios, I think the New York one or whatever, got closed down.
Yeah.
They had to cut off 3 episodes, and I think they were all towards the end. So
I'm still really sad that we didn't get to see like those 3 episodes, because I have a feeling like I think it's pretty much perfect as is, but like imagine having just 3 more episodes of this.
I remember, because they released a lot of graphic novel, like comic releases, and I think the episodes that they did that were about them, I think they had a Beatrice episode, a Highwayman episode, and because there was going to be like an actual like Highwayman episode, and the Woodsman had his own.
You know, it's probably for the best that the Highwayman got his episode cut. As much as I would have loved to see that, I love the Highwayman, but like, did we really need a whole episode?
I needed a whole episode of the Highwayman.
Bro, one of the absolute greatest moments in this show is just... it's still on Wirt, the camera, and then out of nowhere, I'm the Highwayman.
Cut to him standing there looking like it just pauses, and Wirt's like, okay.
Bro.
Oh, and that song is so good.
Good stuff.
I wish it was longer.
That's one of the best episodes. Like, there's a reason we both put it in our top 3.
Right? Like, no, and it's got a lot of songs in it, and like, that's so good. Like, the songs in it are great.
Yeah. But yeah, Into the Unknown is a good episode. It is funny. It is good. I don't know what else to say about it.
So what did you think of The Unknown? Since I was just kind of working through episodes.
What happens in The Unknown? Like, how does it start?
The final episode.
Yeah, how does it start?
It starts because Greg makes the deal with the beast.
Yeah,
at the end of Babes in the Woods.
Yes, I do remember that. And then I remember that. I'm asking how that was the final
This one starts with Beatrice finding Wirt and being like, "Where's Greg?" And Greg working with Le Beast Boy.
Beast. Oh no.
That's how it starts.
Okay, so yeah, there's not much else outside of what I remember of the episode. So yeah. Yeah, what did I think of it? I think it's a really good conclusion for the episode, or for the series, I should say, not the episode.
For the episode, really?
Really? Yeah, don't say. But yeah, not only do we get to finally see the ending of
the Beast,
Wirt's character arc,
but the Bee
on the whole, which I didn't mention. One of the more brilliant strokes, I will say, for putting Into the Unknown right where they did is you get to see just how drastically different Greg and Wirt or at least Wirt was back then.
Yeah,
you know?
Wirt's a real. I was about to say
he's
a jerk to Greg throughout.
No, I was about to say he is a jerk.
Really big jerk.
Yeah, I was about to say he's like a huge jerk back then. It does a nice job. It makes the ending a little more cathartic, like I said before. Because you're like, oh my gosh, he's such a good brother now.
And the whole Return the Rock thing.
Exactly. Yeah, I was about to say this is like they set up a bunch of great stuff earlier in the series, and I think the final episode actually does a really great job at giving you all the payoffs, emotional payoffs, story beat payoffs.
Yeah, I think the only problem I have with
really
the final
great.
episode is it's the most apparent that they cut stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the one where you're like, okay, I feel like we could have used a little more time here, please.
Because you actually have this whole thing, like when you see Greg with the Beast, he's got like these random things, and the Beast's like, yes, now catch the sun into a teacup for me or something, and like. It doesn't make any sense because that was actually supposed to be something, but it had to be cut, and they just kind of had that then.
Yeah, we just see like Greg performing like random tasks for the Beast essentially to start off the episode.
Yeah, as the Beast tries to get him to give up.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, but I do think like everything in the Beast especially, and as much as I think the Woodsman is cut down, like just the way it comes together.
That's
overall,
like I said, that scene is so good.
So good. Like the whole realization that his daughter isn't in the lantern.
Spoilers, Micah.
Dude, this show came out in 2014. It's almost been 10 years.
Wow. But yeah,
like it all comes together, and even in the little rough moments, which there are hardly any, are barely noticeable because everything in this episode is working really well to be super emotional and really come together in a really impressive way.
Yeah, when I got Babes in the Woods and then Into the Unknown the first time I was watching it, I'm like, okay, what the heck is going on right now?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like that section, like you hit Babes in the Woods, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
What? and then you hit Into the Unknown, and you're like, okay, how are they going to end this show?
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck is going on? We only have one episode left, guys.
And then the final episode does do a pretty good job of bringing everything together.
Yeah, I was about to say, it really just like surprised me and blew me out of the water the first time I watched it, because I was like, wow, I didn't think they'd be able to do it, but they did.
Okay, so the next episode we get is The Ringing of the Bell.
Ringing of the Bell.
Which I feel like you talked about briefly.
I did.
There's not too much to talk about.
It's a pretty basic episode.
I put it in the middle because there's not really much to it. There's not a whole lot of plot that you get into in it, but there's not a whole lot of like super outstanding stuff.
I mean, you get a lot of like character stuff for Greg and Wirt, and that's like all the that's the only purpose the episode serves, really.
Yeah, this is one of like the very like we're about to get into the end.
Yeah, it's one of the scarier episodes too.
It is, and it was supposed to be creepier too. It was supposed to actively be scarier.
We're gonna get an R-rated like Over the Garden Wall with the other episodes and make it like the original vision for it, Micah.
Because this was supposed to be the opening episode too.
Really?
In the original structure.
Oh my gosh.
This was instead of the mill, this is what it was supposed to open with, and it was supposed to be creepier.
They would have lost like so many children on episode 1, because I would have probably turned it off. I would have been like, what the heck? I'm going to die right now.
But yeah, no, no, Cartoon Network said no to that idea, and they reworked it later into the show.
See, that's interesting that it was originally going to start with something creepy, because, like, obviously, like, the Hound...
Gristmill was...
Yeah, the Hound has, like, the Gristmill has some creepy stuff in it, but I kind of like how it eases into a lot of its creepier stuff.
Yeah, like
the Huskin Bee, it has some creepy elements, but it's obviously not, like, that creepy.
Yeah, so you go like one, the Old Mill, not super creepy, or the Gristmill, not super creepy, Huskin Bee, not super creepy, School Time Follies, probably the least creepy
episode of all time.
Songs of the Dark Lantern, you get it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I was about to say, like I said, I admire how it kind of eases you into the creepiness of the show.
Mad Love, a little bit creepier.
Yeah, a little creepier, yeah.
Lullaby in Frogland isn't very creepy, but you got the tones leading into
I was about to say you got Adelaide. Stuff. Yeah, I was about to say you got the Adelaide stuff at the end. Yeah,
which then the ringing of the bell, creepy. The babes in the wood.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, I'm surprised they were going to open with ringing of the bell.
Yeah, but I mean, that was from a time when the structure of the show was going to be quite different.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire technical speaking original idea for the show was kind of scrapped due to just various things, creative decisions. I mean, it just happens with ideas.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, I thought it was kind of odd. But yeah.
Because with Tome of the Unknown, the short that came before this, and that happened a lot when people were, like, trying to get shows lit, or movies even, through, like, studios like Cartoon Network. They had them make, like, a short to see if it would do well. And Tome of the Unknown, I think, actually won an Emmy as well.
It did, yeah.
And that's what the Cartoon Network was like, okay.
Okay, it's time to cash in, baby. Here we go.
But, like, you get some of the elements, and the name itself, Tome of the Unknown, like, the entire thing was supposed to actually end up revolving around a character named Scratch, who was, like, this devil-like creature that tricked them into all of this.
Oh, wow.
Into getting the Tome of the Unknown for them.
Interesting.
Which was going to be a book of stories. But that entire idea.
I was about to say that is not there in the final show that I just watched.
But that's why they switched the name to Over the Garden Wall. Because the Tome of the Unknown straight got cut.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you guys have ever seen Tome of the Unknown, the original short, it has a lot of the same, like, energy that the show has, which I really admire. Like I said, its atmosphere and everything are one of its strongest elements, and the fact that it was there from day one is really reassuring.
Yeah, I mean,
I like to say
Patrick McHale's kind of a genius.
Yeah, I was about to say he's kind of a genius guy, you know.
Almost everything he touched in Cartoon Network did amazingly well. Anyway,
we need to watch more Adventure Time. Is the real lesson here?
I mean, and for those of you who don't know, his show idea was widely what inspired Adventure Time, and then he worked on Adventure Time a lot.
Yeah,
because.
You can tell.
Crap, what was the show supposed to be called?
What?
The show that...
originally for Adventure Time?
It was like Space Adventures or something.
Yeah, Space Adventures.
The one that Patrick McHale came up with. And then his buddy was like, hey, it's a cool idea. Let's do this. And he was like, yeah, let's do this.
It made me think of Space Adventure, an adventure in space.
But no, it really is kind of interesting to me, and I think it's cool from a production standpoint, just around everything that was working in this, that, like, all of the shows at this time in Cartoon Network were really just a bunch of buddies hanging out, making what they loved. And I think that, I think that kind of vibe honestly went into a lot of the work, like Adventure Time, Over the Garden Wall. Like, this era of Cartoon Network was like honestly a really great era.
Just those two examples.
Well, I can't.
Yeah, no, I know.
Well, Flapjack was at that time.
I've never seen any of Flapjack before.
I'm trying to think of the other shows, but like there were.
Yes, no, I get what you're saying. I just thought it was funny that we only bring up two of, like, the same thing.
Cartoon Network was running out of shows at the time. All of their big money makers had just ended.
Yeah. But anyway, do you have another question to bring up before we wrap it up? Anything else?
What do you think of the Beast? Just as an overall looming antagonist.
My goodness, he's one of my favorite, like, just movie slash show antagonists ever, simply because he always, like, he has that same, like, overbearing power that a lot of great villains have, where you just, like, he always feels like a threat. And the fact that you never, like, get to see him until the final episode is such, it's the Jaws thing. Like,
yeah, I mean, he commands so much presence in the show, even when he's not there. Almost every element in the show, they're like, the Beast.
I was about to say, the show makes such a great point of making him feel like a threat. And it really just adds a lot of tangible tension to scenes that would otherwise just be like, yeah, it's two kids walking in the woods, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing they introduce in episode 1 is the Beast.
Yeah, exactly.
And also the Woodsman, which I think is another really smart part of the Beast, the way his character works, getting other people to use the lantern. And like, it led to like this very cool thing where, on a first-time view especially, you don't really know what's going on. You don't know who the Beast is. The Beast could be the Woodsman.
Yeah, I was about to say, as far as you know, the Beast is the Woodsman.
And, like, it's just really cool, and aesthetically the Edelwood trees and the Beast
perfect
are some of the coolest designed things in the whole show.
Bro, I just thought of this. Imagine, like, a... over the garden wall, like, ride or something, like a log ride. I would die. Dude, I think. Do that. Could you imagine?
Who owns Cartoon Network?
Oh my gosh, that I'm literally getting scared just thinking about it. Like, do like
some like real life Edelwood trees popping up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be horrifying.
The Beast like pops up right next to you.
I would love it so much.
That would be so good. like a log water ride is what I would do for that.
Nice. You can have you start off at the mill and whatnot.
That would be so good.
That'd be so good. There you go, guys. Hire me.
Guys, we figured it out. That would be perfect. But yeah, no, like, I love the way,
just come up with a great idea. I don't know.
As much as it feels kind of, again, disjointed a little bit towards the end.
No, like I said, that's its biggest problem.
It's always in a way that kind of leads towards the mystery too, which I talked about in my video. Yeah. That even though it's cut around, it honestly leaves it feeling even more mysterious than it probably would have. Yeah. So, like, starting from the tavern thing, they're like, we all know the Beast. And then they're like, he who carries the lantern is the Beast. And, like, from then on, I dropped something, sorry. From then on.
Like, it's like talking like 5 feet away from the microphone.
From then on, like, it just does a great job of, like, weaving everything around. Like, Adelaide is Beast related. Like, everything is just Beast. And you're like, and anytime he actually walks onto the screen, you're like, oh my gosh, this is the sickest thing. And like I said, his voice actor is like a 20 out of 10.
Killing the game once again. But yeah, no, and the fact, once you, like, if you subscribe to this theory, if you, like, figure out that it's supposed to be purgatory and he's, like, supposed to be a kind of Satan figure, it obviously lends itself even more to being like, he's even more of a threat kind of thing, like a supernatural threat.
Yeah, and I just love the way they do the character. Like, just, I think it's a genius stroke of writing to make him as quote unquote weak as he is.
Yeah, no, I know,
be
right?
Such a looming presence.
Exactly.
Like, that's some of the smart. I mean, like, some of the greatest, most memorable villains of all time really aren't that overall.
Like, going that to intimidating. Murder you. Yeah, I was about to say, they're not that intimidating, really.
But he has such a strong overall presence in all of it, like all of the unknown.
I was about to say, literally almost like all of the danger in the show is directly connected to the Beast somehow.
Yeah, because, like, literally, you could have just gone, and he would have been defeated.
Got him, I guess.
But, like, he did it because of that. It makes his character so interesting, how manipulative and how he works around and how he becomes such, like, a strong presence, even though he's kind of a weakling.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, the Woodsman straight up says he fights the Beast to get the lantern. Like, he fought and won against the Beast to get the lantern in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Beast, brilliant.
I think that's just a genius stroke of writing. But yeah,
Any other big things you wanted to mention, Micah?
I don't really have much else.
All right.
Though I do have...
Yeah, I was about to say, the question I was going to ask you is, what's your favorite name for the frog?
I feel like it's kind of like... it's kind of the default. So
for Greg's frog, yes.
So for the frog of the series...
titular frog of the series.
Which, by the way...
Which all series should have.
My girlfriend actually constructed like a by hand like stuffed animal of Frog Man, which is like actually really amazingly well done, and I love it. It's great.
Impressive.
But I have to say my favorite name is just Jason Funderburker.
Fair enough.
Some of my favorites were definitely George Washington, Dr. Cucumber.
I thought Skipper was kind of cute, honestly.
Skipper was cool. It's weird that they put Mr. President on here when Mr. President kind of worked into the George Washington.
Well, yeah, I don't know why they separated it.
But yeah, no, George Washington, Dr. Cucumber, and Jason Funderburker were probably my favorite names.
Good. Those are the good ones, Mike. Oh, man.
It's because the president is nude.
It's because the president is nude. Yeah, no, my favorite's either George Washington or Jason Funderburker. Gotta be.
But yeah, I think...
His cold feet, Mike.
His feet. He gets the socks, Ruby. Oh yeah,
the greatest payoff in cinematic.
And one of the plot points that was going to happen too, I remember specifically that was talked about, was that Jason Funderburker, Frogman, his father was going to be in an episode. He was right after I just Lullaby in Frogland.
That's hilarious.
There was supposed to be an actual episode about that like contract for music deal that he made, and his dad was going to be in it, and he was going to be like a deadbeat father kind of thing.
Frog-centric episode. I take it.
I forgot about that.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I mean, just kind of briefly in closing, since we're not doing closing thoughts anymore. The show's outstanding. Every element, even the stuff that is kind of more shaky about it with everything that was cut, I think really leans into how well, like, mysteriously this show is done. The entire show is objectively just like such a quote vibe. It's not even funny, like literally. There's a reason so many people There's a reason so many people watch this every fall, like us included, because like it literally just works so well into the season.
Yeah.
And is so well done, and there's so many quotable lines, and we could talk about this show probably for like forever if we really toured into each episode.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much here that's just good.
Yeah. I was about to say, we keep talking about like how some of the stuff at the end doesn't work very well, but like I still gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, like that's just by nature of trying to critique something and trying to find anything to where I'm not like, it was perfect in every way.
It's a perfect show. Thank you.
I do genuinely think it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's one of what I think is some of the best created television or movie or just media.
Greatest piece of Christian media ever made.
Greatest piece of Christian media. Sure.
Sam, tell me I'm wrong. Say it.
But yeah, just go listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah. And go watch the show, more importantly. It's on Hulu and HBO Max right now, so you got to pick one of them. You can do a free trial of one if you want.
Right.
It's only like what you said, like an hour or 109 minutes. Yeah.
49 minutes.
49.
But yeah. Anything you want to add right before we end?
Not really. I just that like I said at the beginning, it's one of my favorite miniseries out there, and it's sensational.
Brilliant.
It's got a really good one of the better sibling co-starring like shows or pieces of media.
I forgot to say too that the character design / like quote costume design of said characters, which is just character design, is outstanding.
Oh yeah, well I kind of when I said like the character animation and stuff was good. Yeah,
but like the designs are genuinely outstanding.
Yeah,
the creepy ones, the cute ones, the two main characters, all good. Let's get into our What We Watched segment, though.
Let's do it. Alrighty.
So we watched nothing.
In conclusion, we watched no movies.
I watched only 3 movies last week, which is pathetic.
Well, do you want to explain what the segment is, Micah?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I didn't watch anything. What we watched segment is when we go onto our Letterboxd profile, which is a movie logging and review social media platform.
Yes.
And we talk about all the things that we logged within the last week. Hence where we got the name Recently Logged.
Wow. There you go. There you go. You're gonna elaborate, Mike?
I don't remember what I was talking about.
This is why I said we should have just started it over.
Well, no, I just finished telling what it was, why we were called Recently Logged. I thought you would pick us up.
Okay, yes. Micah just explained what we watch segment is.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna talk about what we watched.
Starting from the 21st.
We had to split the recording, guys.
At which we watched SpongeBob
the 21st
versus the Big One.
I don't know why it's called SpongeBob versus the Big One.
It's the wave, right? The wave.
Yeah, no, I know the wave is called the Big One, but he's not like personally battling the Big One. That's not the main like plot point of the show.
I don't know. I don't know why this was a special anyway. It's very weird. It seems to have no purpose in being a special. Johnny Depp is here.
Giving a like 8 out of 10 performance. I was gonna say 10, but like it's like an 8 out of 10.
It's a good performance. But like this episode is so weird. It's very season 6.
Very.
Which season 5 was trash. Season 6 has been fine. It's been slightly worse than season 4.
Yes.
But this was a very season 6 episode in the fact that just everything felt kind of pointless.
Yeah. At the end, I was like, who cares?
Really? Like, it was really weird. And Johnny Depp was like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10.
I didn't rate it.
Yeah.
Then we watched... you watched something.
Then we watched... I watched The Black Cat, the 34 horror film for the first time, which was very good. It's the guy who directed Detour, which I'm awfully fond of. And it was a really effective horror movie, especially for how old it was. I'm honestly surprised this got made, you know? Like, I know this was like pre-motion picture code kind of thing, but like they got like a guy getting skinned alive on, like, not on screen obviously, but like not on screen, you know. They got like cults, and it got really dark really fast. I'm like, what the heck?
Interesting.
But yeah, it was a 30s movie, like pretty early 30s, and I'm like, wow, this is,
like you said though, that's before
intense. Yeah, before the
people were trying to censor movies
before
real hard.
Like the government code enforced like motion picture stuff. But yeah, pretty decent movie. It was a little boring at parts. It really kicks it up in the third act. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I like Detour quite a bit better though. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Then, since we've watched so little, I guess we'll talk about it. Then we watched Star Wars Visions: The Duel.
The Duel.
Which technically I had watched these before. So I had watched The Duel in English.
Yes.
And then I had watched Tatooine Rhapsody in English, and I was like, because I thought it was supposed to be in Japanese, but it defaulted to English. I was like, okay, I guess I'll trust that.
It's a red flag.
And then the song in Tatooine Rhapsody was terrible. I was like, there's no way this is how it was written. So I went back and I watched The Duel and Tatooine Rhapsody in Japanese, which is what it was made for, and it was much better.
Much better.
And the song in Tatooine Rhapsody was actually like good. And then I watched The Duel again with Rappy.
Yeah, that was the time you watched it again was the first time I had seen it, and it was pretty great. I don't know, like, yeah, it still comes off a little gimmicky.
Yeah, my whole critique for Star Wars Visions, as much as I was very excited for him because I'm a big Star Wars fan and I'm a big anime fan, and I think that's a really smart and good pairing.
Anime.
My critique for it is they all feel extremely gimmicky, coming from all different studios, being an anthology like it is. Not for the fact that it's an anthology, but for the fact that every episode feels so extremely anime and Star Wars trope-y. Like, just that's all it is.
Yeah, and like I get that like each studio obviously wanted to like put a lot of the hallmarks of Star Wars in their episodes. Like, who wouldn't? You know?
Exactly.
If you're commissioned to make a Star Wars short, you're going to put a lot of Star Wars stuff in it, but like it just comes off kind of gimmicky watching it as a whole thing.
Yeah, I would take like a lot of these as little series, like even just mini series for some of them. Like The Duel was pretty fun. I really liked the animation in it. I thought it looked sick.
Yeah.
I like the concept too.
I think it's one of the better episodes of the series.
So do I. So far, I mean, we haven't finished the series yet, but like at the same time watching it, I was like, okay, this feels very. I think that's what it is. They all feel like they're specifically trying to be something instead of being something. You know.
I wouldn't say that for necessarily all of them, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like I felt very much from like the moment this opened up, like that it was trying hard to be like kind of old style Japanese movies combined with Star Wars.
Got the hiccups all of a sudden,
which isn't inherently a bad thing, but it comes off as a little weird.
Yeah, the hiccups keep you on your toes. I don't know why you would think it's a bad thing.
And then we watched Tatooine Rhapsody as well.
Pretty mid.
It's one of my least favorite. The song is good in Japanese. I still liked
it though. Yeah. Oh, what did you rate The Duel?
I didn't.
Oh, I rated it an 8 out of 10.
I don't rate shorts.
I don't rate shorts. I'm above shorts.
But no, I would just want like a completely different like rating system for rating shorts.
Tatooine Rhapsody, I gave it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I just don't like any of the characters, and the actual emotional beats are really kind of mid in this out of any of them.
I like The Rock though.
Yeah, The Rock's good.
There you go.
After that, what did we watch? Yes, we watched Kong Skull Island. It was a rewatch.
Kong.
I was trying to convince Robbie that it's a pretty decent movie. I don't know if it worked.
I mean, my rating did not change for it at all.
I really like Kong Skull Island from a filmmaking, cast, everything standpoint. Its biggest problem is its writing.
Yes, it is.
The third act kind of sucks.
Yes, it does.
But I just love so much about this aesthetically, and like it's the only Kong like monster Godzilla-esque movie I actually like.
Micah, if I watched this like without you, I would have been like, Micah would love this.
and I do.
John C. Reilly is great in it. That's the only element I will attribute the word great to in this movie.
Wow. The cast I think is really fun.
The grading's really fun though. Like the general look of the movie is cool.
Yeah, I think it looks really good. Like it
uses slow motion in a not super cringe way. So.
Unfortunately, that third act really is kind of painful.
Yeah, I only gave it a 6 out of 10. I think it's definitely one of the better King Kong, Godzilla, like kaiju related movies I've seen. But
like I said, it's the only one I've liked, like actively liked.
Like actively liked. Yeah.
I gave it a 4 out of 5.
I gave it I already said my rating. I just got 1 star lower than him.
Then we watched The Twins, which is another Visions short.
One of the weaker ones in my eyes.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was, again, I feel like there's so little to latch on to in like this one, because like at least Tatooine Rhapsody had the music. Yeah, I like this one better than Tatooine Rhapsody.
I love the animation in this one.
Yeah, the animation style
is really cool.
I would again take a whole series of this if it continued. I would maybe be on board, but it just kind of ends as like, and you're like, yep, that was.
See, Micah, this is how I want my animation to look.
It looks good.
There you go.
Robbie wants his animation to be anime.
I want my animation to look good.
But yeah, no, it's just kind of like it's fine.
Yeah. No, it was fine. I actually gave it what I think is a little generous of a rating. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Then we watched The Village Bride, which is actually one of my favorite animation styles in the series.
Yeah, it was all right. It reminds me a lot of Ghibli. I don't know why.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's very similar in a lot of ways, especially the character designs. Like new, obviously like later Ghibli, not early Ghibli.
Yeah, but again, it like with all of these, there's just not much to latch onto.
Yeah.
It's a short little story, and it's fine, and that's about it.
It's perfectly fine. Yeah, it's a perfectly fine little short.
If it continued into any more, I would be like, oh yeah, this is cool. I can talk about how the story progresses, but instead you just have like short little character introductions, and you're like, yep, those are the characters. Yep, that's the plot. There you go.
I also gave The Village Bride a 7 out of 10.
I feel bad for feeling negatively towards these, and I don't feel like totally negatively. I enjoy them, but like I've seen some people like even Houston on Twitter who's like, I love that they're anthologies. I love this so much. It's the coolest thing. I'm just like, it's my least favorite element of the show.
Yeah.
Then we watched The Ninth Jedi.
The Ninth Jedi!
Which is probably my favorite so far.
Maybe The Ninth Jedi was the friend we made along the way, Mike.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely one of the stronger ones of the bunch.
It's the one that actually actively feels like it's trying to have a plot that's not just like a short little one-off thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, this one actually feels like it could be just like a short film rather than being like the start to a series or something.
Yeah, and I think it really does well for it being a short, so I very much enjoyed it.
I also gave it a 3.5.
The animation was interesting.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
the use of animation. The 3D was weird.
I liked the 3D. I just wasn't crazy about how everything was lit and the character designs and everything. I think that style of anime looks kind of ugly to me.
It was one of the weaker visually, in my opinion, of the series.
See, I think the actual like filmmaking was pretty good.
No, visually as in like animation,
just kind of ugly.
Yeah. The animation itself isn't that great looking.
I was about to say, visually it's pretty good. Like,
but then after that you watched Music.
I watched one of the supposedly one of the worst films of the year of 2021.
Sia.
Music, directed by Sia. Yeah.
More like Sia.
It was bad. It was quite bad. Leslie Odom Jr. is in it, though. He's one of the leads. That was cool. He's a good singer. The production design was kind of cool. The costuming was cool. Everything else kind of sucked. Kind of majorly sucked. It was just really bad representation for autistic people on screen, like pathetically bad. Like the epitome of like how you shouldn't do autism on screen, Micah. She literally just serves as a plot device this entire movie, and that's it. She has no character. That's it. I'm like, this sucks, but you know, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. The music was Sia music, and not even good Sia music. Like, I like some of Sia's stuff, but like, this was not it at all. Yeah, don't watch Music. Yeah, I feel weird even just talking about it because it was bad. Like, I feel bad giving it time. But yes, Music, bad, don't watch. I gave it a 3 out of 10.
Then we watched
Congo.
Which
Frank Marshall,
you can only say Congo like you're saying Pongo from 100.
See, Mike, it always makes me think of the Frank Ocean line, everything grows in the Congo.
Which Congo, Michael Crichton, Frank Marshall.
Yeah.
Weird movie.
Very Michael Crichton.
Very Michael Crichton, very Frank Marshall.
Somehow also very Doctor Who.
Yeah, it feels like the quality of like the the third. Which is the first one that they got into color?
I don't know.
Early Doctor Who.
I don't know. This feels like a Doctor Who storyline, though.
Like in budget.
Like if Michael Crichton wrote a Doctor Who episode, this is what it would be.
I'll literally just replace What's-Her-Face with like a doctor.
With the Doctor, yeah.
And have like one of their side character because the Doctor apparently can't not have weird London people following him around.
Weird London people. Micah describes the British as, quote, weird London people.
But yeah, Congo's fine. It's a lot of fun, and the ending just kind of falls apart.
It was a lot of fun until it got to its last, like, 20 minutes, and then it's just boring beyond all reason. You're
Tim
like, oh
Curry
my gosh.
is also here.
Yeah.
He also almost says the N-word.
Yeah, that was wild, right? I was so scared for like 3 seconds that he was actually going to say it. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? It's in 1995?
Kind of wild.
But yeah, Congo. It was a fun movie. And then it wasn't.
It just kind of falls apart into boredom.
Yeah, it just kind of devolves into like boring.
Yeah, I give it 2.5.
I also gave it a 2.5.
Then we watched the masterpiece, the 2020 film of the year.
Yikes! I hope not.
The New Mutants.
Yeah, The New Mutants.
I didn't hate it as much as you did.
It was bad, Mike.
It's bad for sure.
It's bad.
It's bad for sure.
I gave it the same rating I gave music, Mike.
That's sad.
It is sad. I didn't want to hate it.
I agree with what I put in my review, that every element of a movie that could possibly be good is not.
I was about to say, like, I absolutely adore the concept behind this movie, where, like, you obviously, like, it does a really good job of subverting your expectations, Mike, in its concept, where you're like, oh, obviously the main characters are going to be the good guys, right? And then, like, the big reveal, Mike.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh, that's super dope. And then that's, like, all that I liked about the movie.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, I didn't think while watching it was actively terrible to watch. That was the thing. That's why I didn't give it as low as I think, because I put it also in my review. As much as I don't think a single element of this is really good,
does not work.
I do not think a single element of it is aggressively awful to watch. It doesn't work at all.
The story pacing is aggressively awful.
It doesn't work at all, but, like, it wasn't the most painful thing by far that I've watched. It wasn't even close. I've watched some things that I would consider a lot better that I think were a lot worse to watch through than this. Like, at least we had Anya Taylor-Joy and
the weakest performance I've seen from her, Micah. Easily.
Well, yeah. But the script was terrible.
Yes, it was. That's what I'm saying. Like, they even ruined the actors that I liked.
Listen, all I'm saying is it was not the worst thing I've ever seen anywhere close. I gave it 2.5.
No, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's not good.
I gave it 2.5 stars just because I think it is very aggressively mediocre.
I think it is actively kind of awful. I give it a 3 out of 10.
And that is the last thing we watched up until Over the Garden Wall.
Not true, Micah. We watched Over the Garden Wall.
Well, we watched Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah. So yeah. Thanks for tuning in. That was what we watched. We discussed the series Over the Garden Wall. We have met all of the qualifications. Now give us our 23 cents for making the episode.
Now give us money, please.
Give us the money. Oh yeah, if you go to anchor.fm/recently logged, you can support us financially.
Whoa. Financially.
Yeah, if you don't want to just have us rely on ad revenue, I did turn on listener support on Anchor if you want to support us on a monthly or weekly basis.
Give us some money, please.
Please.
We'll do newer movies because we'll have money to go see.
I was about to say, we'll actually have money to go see movies now. But yeah, if you want to support us, anchor.fm/recently logged, you can support us financially.
But yeah, go watch Over the Garden Wall, then go listen to the soundtrack, then go watch it again, then go listen to the soundtrack again.
And then go watch Tome of the Unknown.
Do it.
I double dog dare you.
I double dog dare you.
But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Who knows what's going to happen?
Hopefully we'll have actually watched some movies.
Maybe we'll be in the official Halloween era. We'll start doing some like horror movies or something.
Yeah, where are our horror movies, Robbie? Why are we doing fall stuff?
Ew, not fall.
We need horror.
Oh yeah, happy fall, guys.
Happy fall.
Happy autumn.
Enjoy.
Me when I trip in a bouncy house. It's a happy fall, like.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week.
Indeed we shall.
Bye.
Adios.